I was one of those people who believed blockchain was the future. I thought it was going to revolutionize everything. Money, apps, even governments. But today I can't help but ask, was I wrong?
Blockchain technology.
Blockchain technology and blockchain.
And it's called the blockchain.
The simple way to think about a blockchain-based internet service is it's a service that removes the gatekeeper.
To be fair, we should separate Bitcoin from the rest of the blockchain conversation. Bitcoin's purpose as digital money or a store of value is its own topic. Today we're focusing on the other promise of blockchain, the dream of building applications and companies on decentralized technology, what is sometimes referred to as Web 3. The Web 3 proponents tell the story that back in the days we had Web 1, where everything was built on these open protocols. This included, for example, email and RSS. The nice things about these protocols is that you are able to use many different applications to use the protocols. For example, it doesn't really matter if you use Gmail or Outlook, you're still able to send an email to your friend, regardless of which email service they use. Then, from around 2004 came what they call Web 2.0. This is where we see companies which, instead of relying on public protocols, they would make their own applications. The best example of this is Facebook. When you write a post on Facebook, you are not able to take that same post to another social media, like Twitter. So if you got tired of Facebook, you could not just switch to a new social media network, because you don't have all of your friends there and you don't have any posts and so on. This means that when a new company achieves big network effects, it can be very difficult for a new player to enter the market. And they can basically do whatever they want and you will still stay there. And here is then Web 3, what they believe is the answer to everything. On Web 3, they want to combine the protocols from Web 1 with the cool features and interactivity of Web 2. So if we stay with the social media example, you would have a single social media protocol that many different social media would use. This means that you would, for example, be able to change from one social media platform to another. In this way, you could post on one social media and your friend would be on another. But as long as they still follow the same protocol, you and your friend would be able to see and like each other's posts. In this way, the network effects goes to the users, not the platform. And if you start being unhappy about your choice of social media, you can simply move to another platform. And if you're following tech trends, you may be thinking that this sounds awfully similar to the new decentralized social media networks that we are seeing like Blue Sky and Mastodon. And that is because it is really the same idea. But those protocols are not built on blockchains. But why not? Well, the promise of Web 3 is basically three things. First, eliminate middlemen. We'd no longer rely on banks, big tech, or other centralized entities. 2, empower individuals. Everyone could own the data, control their assets. And 3, create interoperable systems. Smart contracts would work like digital Lego blocks, seamlessly connecting and collaborating across ecosystems. And honestly, all of this sounds great, so why don't we really see any major companies building their own applications this way? Let's start with the first, eliminating middlemen. It is true that blockchains are theoretically completely decentralized and that each user can read the contents of the blockchain by spinning up a node. However, in practice, almost no users actually want to run their own node because it is difficult and very expensive. This means that in reality, most users interact with the blockchain using private servers who allow you to read and write to the blockchains through them. But there's no way to verify for the user if the information they are getting is actually correct. If you, for example, use a browser extension like MetaMask, it actually connects to one of a few different providers. I'm not saying that it's impossible to actually do it in the way that it was intended, but I'm questioning if it is actually something most people want to do. There's a trade-off between running your node and accessibility and usability. That means that simply 99% of users are not willing to run their own node. The second point, empowering individuals. So the idea is that you will own your own data. To some extent that works. Whether my bank closes tomorrow or there will be war, nobody is able to take my crypto assets away from me. But only to some extent. For example, it turns out that if I own a fancy NFT, the actual asset doesn't even live on the blockchain. It is simply a URL that points to the image. which can disappear or even be changed over time. This is a big problem that defies the purpose of having an NFT to begin with. The third point, creating an interoperable ecosystem. This is also sometimes referred to as composability. The idea is that since all small smart contracts are public, I can build an application that uses another smart contract and build on top of that, like with Lego blocks. This is a really cool idea, but the question is again, why does this need to live on the blockchain? Many of the new apps that are being created today is built on this idea, but instead of calling smart contracts, they use what we have used for decades, open APIs. I can, for example, build an application that leverages OpenAI's APIs to build new applications. This is a very easy way to build applications and it works great. And there's not really any reason why I would use smart contracts. So the question that keeps coming up for me again and again is like, blockchains are very cool, but it is so difficult for people to come up with real scenarios where they're actually useful. Meanwhile, many of their ideas like cryptography to verify information or decentralization are great, and we are seeing real products being built on these ideas, but having them on the blockchain does not really seem to be something that we desire. To be fair to Web3, there are some cool projects, for example Book.io, which allows me to own a digital copy of a book that I can sell or give to my friend, which is not something that I'm able to do if I buy an ebook from Amazon. Here I'm actually only buying a license to read the book, not the actual copy of the book myself. But these projects are far and in between. Something we see more often is that the ideas from blockchains live on in other forms. For example, Mark Andreessen recently spoke on Joe Rogan about how blockchains can be used to sign a message. For example, a politician might use cryptography to verify something that they have said. That means that if you see something on social media that is not verified, it was most likely AI or misinformation. However, again, you can do this with cryptography. There's no need for the actual blockchain. We were sold the idea that blockchains were going to revolutionize everything, and I think the reason why we are not seeing it has nothing to do with scams, crypto bros, or anything like it. It is simply because very few people actually think that blockchains offer something that we are interested in, or at least the implementation that comes with the blockchain. If you liked the video, it would mean the world to me if you want to subscribe, like, and comment down below. That is the best way to help me out. Thanks.